Hey everybody, welcome back to Mama Zodi Tarot. I'm so excited. I love doing these K-pop videos, y'all. I don't know, but y'all have just invigorated my love for K-pop. I've been listening to the music. I have just been so immersed in just K-pop. I know I haven't been actually, looking at any tea or anything like that, because like I said, I think it's more authentic when I just tell y'all what I see in the cards and then y'all confirm for me in the comments. But oh my god, I really love and enjoy K-pop music, and I'm glad that I've discovered it and I've been listening to it lately. So thank you to all of my lovely K-pop collective who listen to K-pop and who have been requesting those videos, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have discovered another genre of music that I love. But anyways, let's talk about BTS, okay? Because someone asked me to do a video on BTS and their career, all right, and the possibility of them doing a new album. Now, like I said, I'm tapped in a little bit now, so I do think that they were planning on coming out with an album. So I don't think that would be me telling y'all any kind of new news. I think they were already planning on coming back and working together, but let's just see. All right, tell me about the potential of a group album for BTS, including all 7 members. All right, tell me about the possibility of this, yes or no, and if so, how is that gonna go? If not, why not? All that good stuff. Alrighty. Ooh, no. Yield is poor, effort wasted. Yes. Unlock the potential. Keys are available. Yes. Full of possibility. Plenty. Creating abundance. Alright, yes is winning so far. Yes. The North Node found. Follow this direction. Yes, trust your feelings, fulfill your heart's desire. All right, so it's definitely a yes. Spiraling up, rising tide coming out of your shell. And lastly, we got no, feels wrong, bad idea, manipulated, led astray. So the 2 no cards that we have are about the yield and the efforts and, how this is going to turn out. I am seeing someone drinking on the card, so it seems like it's going to be real stressful. And it's going to take a lot of effort to make this happen. They're excited about doing this. They feel like this is going to be great. This is natural progression for them to go ahead and do this. They feel like this is a great idea for them to come out with a joint album. So they definitely want to do it, and they're going to do it. And it's going to take them some time to figure out the mechanisms and the workings of how to actually get all of their points and ideas across with this coming out of your shell, because everyone wants to tell their story. So they definitely are trying to find a way to make sure that everyone's creative energy is involved and that everyone gets their point across and what they want to say. But I am seeing, what this feels wrong, bad idea, manipulated, led astray, and yield is poor, effort is wasted. So we'll have to look into those 2 and see exactly what those are about. But I would say yes, they definitely are going to, because all of these, we got 5 yes cards and only 2 no cards. So yeah, they will be, but there's something about it that is not sitting well with them. So I have to look into that right now and see what that is about. Okay, where's the tarot? Here we go. I mean, I do see the Hermit on the top of the deck, so there's something that they want to get across, right? With this woman here, kind of like out, looking out, and she has her light sort of being expelled from her. So there's something that they want to get across, every single one of them, as far as the music. And I think that that's an important piece. That's an important piece of it for everyone to feel involved and feel like creatively they had a hand and they had a piece in the creation of the music. All right, so let's see. What is this? Feels wrong, bad idea. What is this? Is this about someone specific in the group that feels like this may not, go right, or somebody that, might try to lead them as a whole, as the whole group astray? Like, what's going on here? I see dirty offer and greed on the top of these 2 decks, but let's see. I'll try not to go into the darker side of things to start. All right, 7 of Wands. So, okay, it says feels wrong, let it, bad idea, manipulative, led astray. That's the card that we're looking into, just to show y'all. I'll put it over here so y'all see what we're looking into. We got the 7 of Wands the Five of Wands in reverse. So it's a lot about, you know, their creativity and their passion, and not wanting to argue and fight over the, you know, the ideas that they're coming up with. Confirmation followed by the Ace of Cups and the Hangman in reverse. So yeah, it's like no one wants to release creative control over the music. No one wants to really surrender. Everyone kind of wants to, I have this idea, I have that idea, I think we should do this, I think we should do that, and it's great, but there's just so many different ideas that they're trying to work through, and that's what's causing delays, because we have the Chariot coming out in reverse after that. So that's why they're kind of feeling like they might be manipulated and led astray. But they're definitely going to be getting some sort of offer with this Ace of Cups, the Chariot in reverse, the Justice, and one more, the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so it's a lot about, you know, fairness when it comes to the work and the labor, what they get for their efforts. So they definitely don't want to take any bad offers that they might be receiving at this time with this Ace of Cups. So they're trying to make sure that they're not actually led astray or, you know, manipulated by any kind of dirty offer. Yeah, listen, they're not trying to have anything to do with anything of that sort. So they're trying to keep it fair. They're trying to, you know, stay on the positive side. They want to just put in their hard work with this Seven of Pentacles and, you know, let the fruits of their labor actually grow into something. They don't want to manipulate the situation in any type of way. They don't want to use manipulative forces to get people to appreciate the music or love the music. Like, they're not trying to involve anything negative. They're not motivated by greed when it comes to this music. I don't see them as being motivated by greed here, and they definitely don't want to take any dirty offers. So that is what I got as far as their efforts, you know, possibly being wasted. Is, you know, what I'm getting is that if they don't take, being that they wouldn't want to take this offer, they might not get the certain distribution, or, you know, the music might not be pushed in the way that they would have liked it to. But I still feel like they're going to push through and keep working. But let's just see. Yield is poor, efforts wasted. What is this about? Yield is poor, efforts wasted. Because yeah, I really feel like they don't want to use any sort of manipulation tactics to, you know, get this. They just want it to be real. They want it to be raw. They want it to be authentic. Their, you know, deepest, most feelings and emotions, like I said, they're just all putting their hard work and their feelings and emotions into it. And they don't want to surrender to anything that, you know, is going to slow them down or take them back or put them in any type of negative energy, is what I'm getting from these cards. So let's see more about this. Yield is poor, effort is wasted. Yeah, Eight of Swords in reverse with the Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. Yeah, really wanted to protect themselves and defend their beliefs and things like that. You know, I am seeing with this Five of Swords, a lot of the music is going to be about some of the things that they went through. All right, they went through some hard things, especially mentally. I'm seeing here with this, we got the Eight of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. So with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it just gives me that this is not going to be something that they're doing financially motivated. This is not to get money. This is not for the appeal. This is, you know, it's not anything done for greed or motivated by money. This is real. This is authentic. This is their deepest, most fears and emotions, and, you know, everything that they went through. Like, they're really going to bear all of their feelings and tell us, you know, how they've had to protect themselves and what they've had to defend themselves against, and the anxiety, the stress, the sleepless nights. I don't know what these people, what BTS has gone through, but whatever it is, like, they want to talk about it because they've been freed from something. Whatever they've been released from, that's no longer keeping them bondage, like, they want to talk about that, and they want to speak about these emotions and feelings and sort of release themselves from it. And it's definitely not about money. It's not about greed. It's not about any of that stuff for them. And that's very, very clear here with this Four of Pentacles coming out in reverse, that that's not the reason why they're doing this at all. Okay, so let's keep going here. I apologize, I was turning off something on my phone. We got the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. Wow. This is beautiful. So this is something new for them, right? They're trying something new with this Page of Cups and Page of Pentacles, right? Where they feel like this is the true victory for them, to bear their emotions and bear their true soul within the music. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love it. Like, they want to talk about the things that they've been through with this Page of Cups, and, you know, integrate their mind with their body. Like they want to talk about everything that keeps them aloof and distant, like all of those daydreams and illusions, everything that makes them tick, what makes them happy. Like they want to get into the more deeper, raw, emotional side of who they are, and they want to put that into their music. They want to bear that, right? And so with this Page of Pentacles, they're very secure within how they feel about, you know, what they're creating in this foundation. They feel very, very secure in it, and they know that it's scary because it's something new, but they believe that this is what's truly going to bring them their victory. All right, that the true victory comes from their inner peace and their inner happiness, and making music that they are proud of, making music that they love, making music that they feel happy to say that they made. It's not about making, you know, pop hits and making chart topping hits and things that people just will think is so amazing, and that they, you know, that will put them in the spotlight. It's not really about that for them. It's really about a legacy. When they look back saying, like, I am proud, I'm happy of this music that I made. It made me feel something, and I told my truth. I expressed myself. I told, you know, about the things that I felt, the darker days. Like, you know, this is about them talking about their shadow side, facing, you know, deeper wounds, and this is going to be some very healing music is what I want to say. All right, so that's what I am expecting to see from this. So when they say yield is poor efforts wasted, what they're saying is that, you know, it's not going to be the type of music that they used to do, because that's not what makes them happy anymore. That's not what makes them tick. Like they want to get to that. You look at this. There's a skull on this card. This is half a coin and then half skull. So it's like they don't want to be corny anymore, put it like that. They feel like some of the old music that they made is corny. They cringe at it, they laugh at it, and they're like, no, we want to, that we feel was wasted. The energy that we put into that was wasted, and we rather put our energy and effort into music that, you know, we really love and that really makes us feel good. So that is so freaking dope and amazing. Oh my God, I'm gonna get into their career here, because it was so funny. I had this deck out, and look what was right at the top, career. So I was like, that's funny, we're talking about we're doing a career reading, and literally the career card, when I shuffled it, came out on top. So we're gonna definitely get into more about what is gonna be the topics of this music, because this is beautiful, and I've got to know what their, you know, intentions are with this music and what they want to say. What is BTS trying to let us know? You know, what are these topics? What are they going to be talking about in their music? What can we, you know, look forward to? Because we know that, like I said, it's going to be successful with the Six of Wands. They are going to be victorious, but not in the traditional sense of, you know, with the type of music that they did before. It's going to be a different feel. And I mean, with the Six of Wands, I pray that, you know, that is true, and that they are received, that the music is received beautifully and well. And like I said, you know, even if, you know, it doesn't make as much music, or it doesn't do as much numbers, or they try to manipulate the situation because they feel some type of way that, you know, they're not, whatever this dirty offer is, whatever it is, they're not moving greedy, and they don't care about making music that doesn't fulfill them anymore, that doesn't really bring them happiness and peace. They don't really, you know, care. They don't really care about that. They're not doing nothing to associate with that. And so that might result in maybe not as, I guess, numbers or streams or whatever the case may be. But what people don't know is that BTS has very strong fan base. So hopefully the fan base can really push hard. That's what I would encourage us to do, is to really push hard and support their music as they move on and move into this next phase, because they're really not, with this moving on, coming out in reverse, they're really not trying to do things the same way that they used to anymore. That's what I'm really getting at. They're trying to do things totally different, okay? So let's see what the truest intentions are with this music. Tell us, what is BTS's truest intentions with this music? Journey. I tell you, they want to tell us about their journey, all right? The physical and emotional things that they have been through, the experiences that they have. Tell me more on this journey. Reconnection in reverse. I told you, they don't want to go back to the past. They don't want to do things the way that they used to, or make money the way that they used to. Like, listen, it wasn't keeping them happy. Okay, bro, I cannot make this up with the Five of Pentacles. right? They feel like, even if they get left out in the cold financially, even if this doesn't, bring them a whole shitload of money, excuse my language, they're not doing this for purposes of greed. Like, they can't emphasize it enough that they're bearing their heart with this Knight of Cups. They're going to be wearing their heart on their sleeve in this music, okay, with this Knight of Cups and four of Swords in reverse. They're not afraid to, explain that they have been through traumas, they've been through pains, they've been through experiences that's broken their heart, and they're still trying to weave and piece their heart back together. That's what this is. They're trying to weave and piece their heart back together through expressing themselves in the best way they know how, and that's through their creative energy, that's through their music. All right, they want to talk about love and what love has done to them, and sacrifice and all of those type of things. The traumas with this world in reverse, the things that has turned their world upside down. Like, they really want to wear their heart on their sleeve, like, and bear their heart on their chest and give us their version. All right, tell us their truth and their honesty and how they see the world. All right, talk about how they really feel. They want to take control of the narrative with this Emperor in the world in reverse. They want to take control of what their life is and what their world is and what they create. Yeah, I can't make it up. Their wish fulfillment. And bro, I just cannot make this up. Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the Queen of Wands in reverse. They want to talk about how love, the dangers of love and lust, and being in your passions and being in love and finding a woman that you passionate in love and what that could do to you, or finding a mate. Doesn't even have to be a woman, but just a partner that you love, and what those kind of things can do for you, and what it means when you operate from lustful or sexual energy, and they don't want to do that when it comes to making their finances and making their money, is what they're saying. Their legacy, Nine of Pentacles, that's what they're thinking about. How they feel like there was repair work. They had to go back to the drawing board. Thank you. That's what I'm getting from this. They had to go back to the drawing board, and they got some angelic guidance with this dove here, this bird here, and they realized that it was important for them to speak their truth. It was important for them to understand that they are one of the divine, right? And so when you are of the divine, you have to be careful. You can't be just doing things just out of lust, or doing things out of desire. You have to be careful what you wish for and going after certain passions and desires, and they don't want to be intertwined with anything that is lustful. All right, with this Knight of Wands in reverse, they're trying to think with their head over their heart, but they want to talk about the dangers of thinking with your head over your heart, the dangers of sharing and receiving wealth with people that you shouldn't. All right, being careful of who you give and receive from, who you give care to, who you show kindness and love to, who you give your energy to, how you give out your energy and how you exchange it. And that involves the music that they put out. That's what I'm getting with this infinity symbol. They're feeling like, in order for this to make sense, they have to create music that is lasting, something that transcends time and is not just about for a moment. Okay, and that's going to be popular or hype or just bring them the dollars. They don't really care about that. They're not reconnecting to that part of themselves. They're connecting with their journey. They're on a new journey, and so that's the kind of music that they want. They want to reflect that. Okay, listen, I can't make it up with the Temperance. Very much Earth Angel energy. All right. They've surrendered, all right, to a higher power, to a higher source and guidance, and they want to talk about the peace and the tranquility that they found. Oh my God. The thing I want, the peace that I have found. It's the little things. It's the little things and the joy they bring. Yeah, listen, they want to talk about the moments where they was weak and they couldn't stand tall, all right? And things were out of balance and out of whack with the strength and the wheel of fortune in reverse. But this is also giving me being careful of who they partner with, all right? Seven of Cups, the Judgment in reverse, Strength in reverse, and the Wheel in reverse. They don't want to be judged negatively, okay? So they're not taking any partnerships that, any dirty offers. It's just as simple as that, all right? They're not doing it. They're focusing on creating a new stable foundation that actually works. They tore down that old foundation, all right? I can't make it up. All right, I cannot make it up. The Devil, the High Priestess in reverse, and the Four of Wands. They knew that the old way wasn't working. They had to put an end to those toxic habits. They knew that foundation was built off of, like I said, lust, desires, indulgence. and not true serenity to the divine, not true caring and helping, and that's what they want. They want their music to reflect truth and reality and realness and divinity and positivity. And yes, there are sadness and pain and there's things all within that, but they definitely want it to be real. They want it to be raw. They want it to be emotional. They don't want it to be fabricated, fake, and just for views and likes and dollars and for people to be like, oh, I got a song to dance to and party to, like with this Four Wands. Like, no, it's not just about singing and dancing and partying. It's about healing your inner childhood wounds and overcoming your toxic habits and codependencies and all of these things. All right, so this is what they're talking about, and they're like, we don't want nothing to do with that. Okay, they don't want nothing to do with that. The devil you don't know. All right, that devil they don't know. They don't want to find out about it. They want to stick to their core values with this Four Wands. They want to stick to what they stick to. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. All right, they sticking to the rivers and the lakes that they used to, and they're not trying to take no dirty offers. Yeah, they're not trying to be confused. They're not trying to make no wrong decisions. All right, with this King of Swords in reverse, they're trying to keep their head screwed on straight, make proper decisions, make the best decisions, have mental clarity. All right, and make the right decisions. Okay, with this Ace of Pentacles, I'm telling you, they don't want this offer. It then came out in 3 different decks now that they getting some sort of offer. Okay, and with the Fool in reverse, they're not going to be stupid enough to create that ending to go towards this. They know that would be something like a death. They don't want nothing to do with that. They ain't moving closer to that. All right, but this 3 of Wands in reverse. So I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, because that's what the cards are saying, that they keeping their head clear and they staying away from that. Okay, listen, I just put the deck on gaslight in reverse. They is not allowing themselves to be gaslit into going back to old habits, even though they had their issues. They're like, no, we've moved on, we've grown here with this journey, we've evolved, and they're not trying to have their anything about their. It says, I will deliberately manipulate your perception of reality until you are doubting your own experiences and memories. That's not what they want. All right, so they want to talk, but that is what they want to talk about in their music. How you can be gaslit, how you can be abused and played into doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie, I want to know about this dirty offer. Since they want to keep talking about it, it's gonna come out in every deck. Tell me about this dirty offer, because like I said, they're maturing. They're going past that. They don't want nothing to do with that, but it's in the air. So what is it about? It's obviously just lurking in the air around them. Yeah, negative in reverse, lone in reverse, great news in reverse. Listen, this shit is bad news. Okay, for entertainment. Bro, listen. This offer, whatever, they're like, we don't need whatever financial assistance. We don't need your backing from the label. We don't need you to push our music. We don't need no 360 deal. We don't need no advance. Whatever it is, they don't want anything to do with it, because they know that it's negative. They know that it is going to bind them to negativity, and that it would not be any great news, that there would not be good news. The reason why great news is coming out in reverse is because this is the facade. This is the mask. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, this is such a good idea. This is going to help y'all grow. This is what you need to do. And they're like, no, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't need your assistance. We don't need your loan. We don't need your help. And especially because whatever this is will have us doing something negative, something that we shouldn't be doing. I'm hiding my true intentions, and I don't actually care about your well-being. So they know that whoever this is that's coming at them saying that they have good news for them with this loan and this dirty offer, they know that it's really dirty, and that it wouldn't be anything else positive. So what is the outcome? Let me go ahead and split the deck. Okay, we got plans, welcome in reverse, and vent. So yeah, the plan is, to focus on the future. I don't know why I said excuse me, but I guess they, excuse me, miss, I saw you from across the room. But I don't know why this just came to me, but yeah, they're not welcoming any kind of darkness in. They're not allowing anyone to play them with this plans and vent. Like I said, they're going to continue on going with what they chose to do. They're sticking to plans as usual, to put out the music that they want to talk about the vent about their feelings and the situations and everything that they said that they would. They're sticking to it, and no one's going to get them to go against that. And that's just that. They're not welcoming in anything dark, and they're sticking to the plan. So that's what I'm seeing as far as the outcome of this music. All right, I mean, excuse me, not the music, the outcome of the dirty offer that they're going to be getting. Now we can talk about the music with this career here, because I do want to know what are some of the topics that they're wanting to talk about in this music, y'all? About their personal feelings. Let's start with the inner workings, the inner dealings of how they're feeling and what is going to be coming across through their music. Maybe we should we, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull up all of the members and just go ahead and do it one by one, if you guys don't mind bearing with me for a second, so that way we can get very specific and go ahead and do it one by one. So let me pull it up. All right, let's start with Jungkook. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one for Jungkook and what he wants to express through this music and what he really wants to talk to us about. Oh, I'm seeing Alchemist in reverse. All right, so he wants to talk about some of the things that he's been through as far as being taken advantage of. All right, he wants to talk about the wisdom, the spiritual knowledge that he has now, and what it was like when, you know, there was people who might have known little more than him, or claim to have known more than him, have used that against him, and how he's learned to like transmute energy and alchemize energy and actually gain like real spiritual knowledge. Okay, I always wondered what kind of spiritual practices Koreans have, so I guess I'm gonna have to do some research after this. So I love that for me. All right, so let me go ahead and pull one for V. Child Magical coming out in reverse. So remember I said they're going to be talking about dreams and their childhood dreams and their illusions and things like that. So he's definitely going to be speaking about, you know, a lot of those things from his childhood that he's always dreamt of, possibly about always wanted to be a musician, and how, you know, I always thought that, you know, I would be a star and I would be famous and I would be this, but realizing that it comes with a lot more, you know, the shattering of those dreams. That's why this card is coming out in reverse, because, you know, these are things that they've struggled with. You know, so that's why Alchemist came out in reverse, and now Child Magical is coming out in reverse, because you had Jungkook, who was struggling with, you know, transmuting energy and not allowing the things that he'd been through to hold him back, or not letting people, quote unquote, having a higher understanding or knowing more than him, you know, make him feel less than and things like that. And then you have V, who's really trying to grow up and be, you know, understand that he had to shatter a lot of those childhood wounds. I mean, not childhood wounds, a lot of those childhood dreams, because a lot of times he can be in a fantasy and an illusion, and what he's dreaming of is not actually what the reality of the situation is. So I think that's what he's going to be talking about in his music. Let's see about Jimin, which this did come out, it was upside down, but then I turned it up right. We got Child Orphan, so he's going to be talking about, you know, feeling alone, feeling, you know, to yourself, feeling depleted, loneliness, not really feeling like you have support or a team or people being there for you, possibly, you know, I don't know if he is an only child, possibly just, you know, growing up feeling ostracized, feeling like an outcast, feeling like, you know, you just all alone and there's no one there that understands you. So I think he's going to be talking about being misunderstood. It says feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate family. So that could have been something that he struggled with as well, that he'll be talking about. It's crazy how that card tried to flip out my hand again, so heavy on having abandonment wounds and abandonment issues. So that's what Jim is going to be talking about. Oh, it's so real. I just dropped my glasses. Okay, then we got Sugar next. Let's talk about Suga. What's he got going on? I'm feeling this one. Oh, this is 2. Okay, well, we got 2 for him. I didn't even mean to pull 2, but we got Scribe and that word, you know, in reverse. So we'll go ahead and just put that back in, because I know what that's about. He basically wants to. I don't know if he's going to be one doing most of the writing with the Scribe in reverse, but he's going to be definitely heavy on talking about women, also talking about, you know, being pimped in the industry, and, you know, people trying to find different ways to use you, and, you know, them kind of being used as like a money grab, and you know, being taken advantage of, and pretty much, you know, pimped out, like I said, for your gifts, and just pretty much not what does this say? not negotiating the power of your spirit, like learning that, everything is not about money, it's not about the price tags, it's not about everything comes with a price, and sometimes it's just not worth it. So I think that's what he's going to be doing. And with him coming out as the scribe, I don't know if he's the main writer, but he will definitely be heavy on the writing in this. So that was Sugar. All right, Jen, what we got going on, Jen? In here. Oh, Beggar in reverse. Okay, so I think Jen is the one. Remember I was talking about with the Six of Pentacles, they came out in equal give and take. So he could be the one that, often feels like he needs to help people, or he needs to be people's savior, or that he can save people from their situations. And I think that, he's definitely learning that, you can't save people, and also no one's coming to save you. It feels like a twofold energy where he's realizing he got to stand in his own personal power. He's got to stand up for himself and make sure that he doesn't get taken advantage of. Right? And so yeah, working on his own self-esteem and not allowing himself to be taken advantage of or take advantage of other people. So that's something definitely for him. And I'm learning to just, be self-confident and be independent, and actually just, rely on his own self and his own understanding to help him through his feelings and his emotions and his survival and all of that. Just making sure that he taps in with his own inner guidance and trusting himself before another person. Okay. And Jen, all right, so we got Bully coming out in reverse. So Jen's gonna be talking about intimidation tactics. It's so funny, all of this music is literally, talking about them standing up, standing in their personal power, transmuting energy, changing things up, right? With this alchemist, not being afraid of change, and actually, letting go of maybe what you always thought you was going to be doing in the past, letting go of your fantasies and your illusions, standing alone on your own and being real with the music that you're putting out, and making sure that, it's genuinely coming from the heart and how you feel, and that nothing is not plagiarized or anybody else's words, and, things like that. So this is heavy on what they're going to be talking about in the music. Not allowing yourself to be bullied and backed into a corner to taking some offer or doing something that doesn't feel good in your bones. It doesn't feel good in your spot. Okay, listen. They don't care about being in the spotlight or having a certain spot. Whereas that might have been something in the past. They understand that can cause a lot of negative things, and they're not in the energy of being no beggar. They're not begging for nothing, and they're not allowing themselves to be bullied. Okay, they're self-sufficient. So that's what it's given. Jen is like, look, I'm not. He's talking about not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, not allowing yourself to be bullied, and making sure that you also know how to treat people with fairness and kindness, and attacking your fears. All right, with this bully, attacking your fears and knowing that you can do anything and that you don't have to be afraid. Anything is possible. So then we have RM. And RM, we got companions. So he's gonna be talking about love. He's gonna be talking about healthy partnerships. He's gonna be talking about loyalty. He's gonna be talking about being selfless, being kind. You see how these two people's hair are connected. So all about that connection and not being afraid to share and work hard at something with someone and do things together, and all of that togetherness and unity and harmony and companionship. So I love that for RM. And lastly, we have J-Hope. What's J-Hope gonna be talking about? Mother. Okay, so J-Hope could be talking about, again, also about love and, positivity, light things, caring for yourself, taking care of yourself, self-care, love, nurturing, possibly, mother wounds or, motherhood, things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing as far as everything. It's so funny, on the shadow side it says smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So again, this is all about them coming up from under someone's stronghold, right? This is what all their music is going to be about. Not allowing some overbearing, smothering person to tell them what to do and put guilt in them. So this is all about them coming out from under that guilt of being independent and doing things on their own. So this is going to be very beautiful, and it definitely seems like it's going to be an independent venture, and it's not going to include anybody that they was working with before. They're definitely going to be changing things up with this alchemist and switching things up, and they're all going to be bringing different beautiful things to the music and I love that for them. I think that's it, you guys. I think the last thing that I would probably like to know is as far as their career, like what's the overall message, right? So we can close it out because this is already over 30 something minutes. I know. So what's the overall message here? Give me the overall message. The overall message for this music. Self-doubt, patience in reverse. Yeah, not having fear, all right? Not letting fear stop you, not letting things hold you back, going after what you want, all right? Not letting doubt keep you stuck, okay? Obligation, they could be talking about, if they are stuck in something, if they are still currently in a situation where they want to get out of, with this patience in reverse, where they're like, listen, we only making this just to fulfill it, and then after that, we don't even plan on. Oh God, I don't even want to go there. But I'm not saying we don't. If they are gonna make any music that doesn't have anything to do with that, it would just be to fulfill an obligation, right? And that's what they're gonna be letting us know as far as their music, that they needed to honor themselves, that they could no longer allow themselves to feel obligated to make music that they didn't feel confident in, that didn't reflect their true feelings, all right? And it was something that they had to stop holding back from and just make a choice to honor themselves. And so that's the message that they're telling us in the music. You honor yourself. You never be afraid to go after the things that you want. Like, don't let fear hold you back. Really always be strong and make the choice with this patience in reverse. Like, never be afraid, never back down, okay? Never say die. Be optimistic and really go after what it is that you want. Yeah, boundless possibilities coming out sideways here. This is about them understanding that life is really what you make it. It really is. And if you choose to feel like, I have to be stuck pigeonholed to having a certain career or I had these childhood dreams and I thought I was always going to be a star and I thought I was always going to be this. But sometimes things change and you realize that what you once thought you felt obligated to do, you don't, right? You start to have that doubt and realize that it's not making you happy. It's not something where you're honoring yourself. And so they're saying, don't be afraid to alchemize. Don't be afraid to change. Know that there's always different boundless possibilities. It's okay to take your potential elsewhere and confirmation, and go where you're loved and go where you're appreciated and go where you're not going to have to compromise yourself or your behavior. So that's the message as far as the music. Let's get some things that they're going to have to be aware of to close it out, because I don't like never leaving it off without some guidance. Even if I'm doing the reading, it's not a personal reading, because hey, you never know, a BTS member might see this. I don't know. But let me just go ahead and give y'all some guidance to close it out, just to watch as far as what y'all need to watch out for and what might be coming, future predictions for, BTS, so that way y'all can keep your head screwed on straight and make sure that y'all are vigilant and watching out. Not that I don't believe that y'all aren't already doing that, but let's go ahead and get into it. We'll take 3 from each of these decks. Oh, they're not playing. Listen, Beetle and Tulip. So we got good fortune and great passion. And it says someone will try to make you do something against your will. Bro, did I not say that? I can't make it up. The great fortune in the Beetle was coming out sideways, because that's the thing. Because they're putting their passions first, because they're actually going to be putting passion into this music, it's going to affect the quote-unquote fortune. And people going to be trying to tell them, like, this is not going to be as financially lucrative, and going to be trying to get them to do something against their will, something that they wouldn't want to do. This is crazy with the club here. But they're like, nah, we're not going to be doing that. So they definitely going to be watching out for that. Give me 3 more for things that from this pile here that BTS is going to need to watch out for over the next 12 months with their music careers and things of that nature. Listen, that's too many. That's way too many. But I am seeing the moon, so it's going to be some changes, all right? And they got to be careful. So we got heart, love, deep affection, and caring coming out sideways. I keep saying this is all about them using their heart and putting their heart into their efforts and in their music. And I do have Pig here with beware of greed. So again, they know that there's, greedy energy and greedy forces in the background that don't want them to be victorious, with this V coming out in reverse. This could be literal. V, be careful, all right? Like, I think this could be a literal message for V, that he's got to beware of greed and doing things, make sure that he continues to do things from his heart space, and that he's thinking clearly. And even if you are passionate about something, V, and you're moving from your heart space, to consult with everybody before you do anything. Like, make sure that it sits well in your spirit. Don't do anything that you know is not of the divine, that you wouldn't be happy with in the long run, that you would look back and be like, oh my God, I'm so sad that I did this or went against this. So make sure that you're, V, that you're watching out and being aware of people being greedy and trying to take advantage of you in your heart. Like, I don't know, that this keeps coming up with V. Yeah, with this angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So they're definitely being they're definitely getting some guidance. I'm seeing a two-faced friend with the cat here. So V, I told you already that you got a two-faced friend in your energy. So I said that in the last video. So y'all definitely, I don't know how V gonna find this out. He's got to be mindful and careful of the people he's around, which, don't get me wrong, whoever this sneaky person is that's in their energy, they do get angelic and spiritual guidance, and they're protected from harm by their ancestors. But give me what do the ancestors want to say? Give me one last one on what the ancestors want to say. Fair woman. Yeah, so it's a woman. Whoever this woman is, I don't know if she's their publicist, or she's involved somehow with their dealings, because that's what this is giving me with this older woman here. Like, she's somebody involved with their career. Remember, mother did come out, so I don't know, y'all, if somebody's mother, is helping or involved, but they need to definitely be mindful. She could also, be a Libra, but there's something about, justice and her, not necessarily being fair. So that is what I have for you guys for BTS's career and what's going to be coming towards them over the next year in terms of their music career and what kind of music they're going to be making. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a very, very interesting, juicy read. I love you guys, and I will see y'all on the next one.